Welcome back, Weather Kingdom. In today's update, we are going to be taking a look at the tropics. I know we are running a little bit behind, but I hope you guys please like and subscribe and watch the entire video. It does help us to get monetized, and that's a massive goal as we've been live streaming lately, but I want to get back into some of the video recording and see how it goes because I just don't want this channel to just become an all live stream. But we're going to be taking a look at is pretty much what is next for the tropics, where do we stand right now, and what is after Aaron, because Aaron is now going out to sea. Officially, we are now on a north path as of 8 o'clock tonight, even a little bit to the northeast. At this point, it's 110 miles an hour. They do expect it to become a major hurricane. At this point, I do not really believe in that. If anything, it will stay 110 and then weaken. But it's a 941. It's moving 14 miles an hour. Pretty much the projection of this, Aaron, is pretty much out to sea here. But this ain't the only area we are watching for the tropics, as we are watching another area of Invest 99L in the Atlantic. I do not expect this to really strengthen into anything, as all the models do not really support it, with some unfavorable background condition. But then we take a look at the red hatch area here. We are watching a tropical wave, and it does look very good on satellite as of right now. And we also have model support. This one will likely follow in Aaron's tracks. Pretty much thanks to Aaron moving out this way. This is another weakness and another trough. And for that, this storm could get very close to the Leeward Islands, but not really bring any impacts. And then who could be an impact is Bermuda. So we're going to have to watch that area. This one I do not really believe in, but this ain't the only stuff we are talking about, as I would honestly hatch the Gulf and the Caribbean, okay? There's not crazy model support yet, but there is signal of a possible activity spike here where we could see a tropical storm or even a hurricane coming down towards the end of August into September. And then always we have to keep a watch out of some of that general favorable activity coming off the Atlantic. So this is where we stand right now on the National Hurricane Center. These yellows are just an addition, but this one most likely could become our next named storm. That would be our 7th or 6th storm of the season. So it'll be our 6th named storm. This one I'm not too confident. And then these two other areas is very up in the air. So at least we'll get up to 6 named storms before the end of August. And we'll have to see if we do get in any more activity. Alright? So speaking on that, I want to look at the IR of currently Aaron. It is once again very massive, bringing some outer rain bands into the outer banks here. Nothing too major, as we are starting to see a little bit of the weakening. We take a look at the true color. Very massive storm. We're seeing actually outflow all the way into Philadelphia. And generally this storm is moving kind of north, even a little bit northeast. And I do expect Aaron to kind of shoot out here and go out into the Atlantic, okay? That's my latest thinking on Aaron. We are going to be watching for some coastal impacts. That is for surge, wind shear, major actually, waves, storm surge, and rip currents and swells. That's being felt from Aaron right now. Even the outflow very impressively is reaching all the way into Virginia, Delaware, and even New Jersey, southern Pennsylvania. We're seeing the outflow in the upper atmosphere of Hurricane Aaron. So it's a very good cyclonic flow, and we'll have to keep a watch on that. Okay. Now I want to take a look at something else, and that's the other visibility. So this is that tropical wave where we have Invest 99L. We do have a little bit better established low-level center today. I would say, but we'll have to continue to watch this if it does try and develop. It's still very broad. Something else here, we are watching this tropical wave currently producing showers and thunderstorms. This will continue to move this way and generally then move out to sea like this on this wave. So we're watching these two other areas, not too high of confidence for either, but one of them could actually become a named storm. One is more confident and could actually become a hurricane down the road. Okay, so speaking on that, we actually have a lot more ensembles. We actually have 4 now ensemble models, and this goes out to 240 hours out on the Euro. We do have model support for this wave right here. Oh, my bad. I did not mean to do that. Let's do this. Let's do this. Yeah, zoom out. So, very limited model support here in the next 240 hours out. We also see some spaghetti ensembles. It's still a little too far out on the Euro ensembles to start picking that up. This is the leftover Aaron. Kind of gets shoot out to sea. Another little signal off the East Coast that we'll have to watch out for. But pretty much the big one here is this tropical wave here. Pretty weak ensembles until we get into more Bermuda and up here, as we could be expecting a stronger tropical storm. We'll be looking at the background stage of that also, but there's that little thing. This is the European ensembles. We got quite a few ensembles I want to look at. This is the GEFS, a lot stronger here. Also showing some activity in the Gulf and the Caribbean. That's why I hatched the area with a little low percent. Also some sporadic waves that does try and develop a pretty unfavorable atmosphere. Also this wave right here that does eventually become, a lot of these, a strong tropical storm to a hurricane on, and this will be our 6th named storm. So it could become our 2nd hurricane of the Atlantic season. So very impressive. Something else to watch out for. And we'll have to wait and see. Now, let's take a look at another model. This is the FNV3. I do not know much about these, but I know the I think these are like AI virgin models of some of this. And I don't really know how accurate that is. But in the next 312 hours out, we do see another strong tropical wave on some of few of the ensembles here coming off Africa. But once again, we have a very good agreement on another potential strong tropical storm to a hurricane that's generally going to go out to sea. And then we have that few spaghettis out in the Caribbean. And then we also take a look at the ensembles here. This is that leftover. I keep doing that. I am sorry. We keep looking at here. This is the leftover Aaron. Generally going to be going out to sea. This is our next area. It does show development a little later. For that, it does only become mostly a tropical storm. Maybe a strong tropical storm. Then also we are seeing more of an agreement of another tropical wave here. On this is the GNC. And then nothing in the Caribbean. So, being that said, we're going to have to wait and watch and see on the ensembles. We'll have to take a look at this every single day. I don't need that. We do need this. Okay? And we want to take a look at the models on this here. So, let's go to North Atlantic. One moment, you guys. Let's see how this Aaron looks. Alright, so this is the GFS model. Been liking this wave north of Puerto Rico to develop eventually while Aaron moves out to sea. We do see, once again, on the latest Euro, a developing storm just north of Puerto Rico. Nothing too strong, but definitely here a tropical storm. And then we do see this to strengthen pretty good and actually impact Bermuda as maybe a Category 1 hurricane here on the GFS. This generally does what the GFS has been doing, and then it gets picked up and out to sea. We don't see anything with this wave over here now. So that's very interesting. That's why I do not believe 99L. We'll be seeing that as 91L. And then this will get extra tropical and out to sea. Going forward, we do see another wave in the next 100 hours out. Maybe another tropical wave does try. But a little bit further out, closer to 240 hours out, we do see an uptick of activity across this region where I'm circling, the Central American Gyre. We do get a wave that the GFS has been showing, but I'm not too confident on it. We'll have to wait and see. And it does show some development in the Gulf, and actually becomes a hurricane in the Bay of Campeche, and could be our third hurricane of the Atlantic hurricane season. And then that pretty much goes out, and then we are looking at this would be by the beginning of September, the first few days of September, another potential storm here. The 12Z had it also, and showed more of a major Category 5 hurricane going into Texas. And then the previous model runs had it none. So there's only 2 model runs here where it does show some type of tropical activity. That's why I did hatch it. That will be more for the beginning of September, while the Canadian here on the latest really shows nothing much even out of that wave. We do see a little bit of development out of 99L, but pretty much that goes out to sea, and then pretty much nothing here on the Canadian model. The European, this is the 18Z. Let's take a look at the 12Z. Really not much to look at. We do see that development here on the Euro. A little bit late, but it does become a tropical storm and then pretty much dies out. And then pretty much forward on that, it really struggles to show anything. But at the end, towards September 4th, we do see a tropical wave here. Also another tropical wave. So it looks like in the beginning of September, we'll gradually start picking it back up. And we should continue with tropical activity. Those are the models that we are going to be taking a look at in today's video. 99L on here doesn't really show any development on the hurricane here. Pretty much weak and dead. But just wanting to give you guys that a little bit. So now we take a look at the water temperatures. And the water temperatures have warmed significantly. We could tell 26 degrees all the way up in the islands here. And then generally 27 and 28 throughout where these waves will be developing. Very warm waters as you get into the subtropics. Also the Caribbean, where we're seeing temperatures around 30 degrees Celsius all around. And this waters will continue to warm. Even in the Gulf of Mexico, 90% of the Gulf of Mexico is under 30 degrees Celsius. Also up the East Coast, we are noticing it getting very warm. Also the Bahamas, especially, we are noticing a little bit of a cool down where Aaron has went so far. We're seeing more of a 28, 27 degrees Celsius right there. But where the new system will be is actually in 29, and then eventually as we get into Bermuda, 30 degrees Celsius. The environment actually we'll actually take a look at the environment tomorrow. But that's your latest on the tropics, you guys. I hope you guys like and subscribe. Please share with your friends and family. And if you guys have any questions, leave them down below. Our goal is to 1,000 subscribers. We are currently around 630. Also, we are now at almost 1,000 watch time hours. Let's get up to 3,000 that I can be monetized. And then we can actually add on to the channel. Thank you guys. Please like, please subscribe, and see you guys in the next update. Have a good night.